I'm just going to share with you one of my passions is just sharing our story through social media and through blogging and farm tours and all that. It's very important that we do this. Everybody does this. People really need to know about what we do every day. So, a little bit about me. I was born and raised in a suburb of Chicago, LaGrange Park, Illinois. Population 13,659. That is my home that I pinned there in the middle, if you can see it. I found it in Google Earth. It was kind of fun. So that's where I grew up. That's just a suburb of Chicago. So that is all suburbs, but just kind of relationship where I am to the city. We were just talking about this, it takes about 20 minutes for me to get downtown, depending on the time of day. It could take about an hour or two. So, this is kind of funny, because the speaker this morning was talking about horse people. Where do the animals come from? I was a horse person, not like a horse person, a crazy horse person, but I enjoyed horses. I worked with a lesson program in the city where we taught kids to ride horses. So we would saddle them up, brush them up, did all the hard work, and then all they had to do was hop on and learn how to ride. So anyways, I got involved with that, and really, I've always had a love for animals, but of course living in the city, you can't have the 3 dogs and the 5 horses that I have now, so it's really a blessing what I've gotten to do. So that's me through all my various stages. Then on the bottom left, that's actually my 3-year-old son with my 32-year-old horse who was in all the other pictures, the horse I learned to ride on. So it's pretty neat that came full circle for me. That was awesome. So obviously now I have way too many horses. My husband would love to get rid of some, so would my father-in-law. But I got these little things because I thought my kids needed to grow up farm kids, the dream realized for me. I never got to do that. So this is me kind of growing up. I assume that every block in Iowa celebrates Woodstock every 5 years. That's what we did, right? So that's our block party celebrating Woodstock. I don't know if that explains a lot about me or very little. I don't know. I'm pointing to myself and my graduating class of just about 800 kids, Lyons Township High School, and that's me being really cute in the snow. I don't know. My mother sent me those pictures, so I figured I should put those in. So, and that's the neighborhood kids. That's the neighborhood I grew up in. So, and this is how my husband grew up. It looks quite different from where I grew up. Pigs out, and there's a handsome young man in those pictures sitting in the front here. So it is quite different, completely different upbringings. The exact same time. So, Iowa State. That's how I met Tim. We met at Iowa State. I didn't want to go to University of Illinois. That's where my entire high school went, and that was our ag school. So my counselor suggested go to Iowa State. I was into large animal something or other, and so I did graduate with an animal science degree from Iowa State. So at school, Tim would come home on the weekends. Every weekend. Actually, the entire population of Iowa State dropped by like half on the weekends. I never understood that. I'm like, you're in college. Certainly you want to be here for the weekends. So I kind of came to check it out, see what the whole big deal was, why he would always come home, and my eyes were opened to this world that I never knew anything about at all. You know, I thought food came from the grocery store. And certainly it does not. There's a lot of work that comes into it. So I was amazed by it. And he was intrigued by the city, and I use this example all the time. The first time he came back home with me and we were driving around, he's like, it's like you're always in town. I was like, well, like, why wouldn't you be in town? Of course you're in town. So I get it now. I get it. So this city girl married the pig farmer way before The Bachelor made that popular, be that known. I was a pioneer of that. So I traded those city lights and I joined the Starry Nights of the city, and I have this right in front of me. I keep looking side to side. So these are some of the things that the city folk thought about me, that I was definitely going to be lonely. I was going to be out of touch with the modern world. I'd be really surprised if I had a landline. We don't do anything in the wintertime, of course. all corn is sweet corn. That's a very popular opinion that you can rip any ear of corn out of a field and it's going to taste like sweet corn. Didn't understand why people would wave at you when they don't even know you. That's kind of strange. And a big farm is a big corporate farm, and you're bad, of course. So those were some things that people thought. So what the people from the country thought, I'm certainly going to be in a gang. I'm from Chicago. Or I'm definitely closely related to one. I should have massive road rage, which we all know that's not true, isn't it, Pops? I can't get my hands dirty. I should be fashionable, and I find that kind of ironic because I am the only person in the office that is constantly wearing sweatpants and a sweatshirt. I am the least dressed up person of anybody. I should be less caring. My values would be different. I would be a stuck-up snob. And I'd have no social ability. I would just keep walking. You don't wave at people when you drive. So they're two different worlds. So once again, I kind of come back to this, that my neighborhood's changed a little bit. I did this at the same elevation for both things. So that's where I grew up, and that's where I live now. So it starts to paint a little bit of a picture of how very easy it is to be misinformed about what we do. I had no reason to ever drive past a farm for 18 years of my life, maybe fly over one. But unless you drove anywhere far, you have no idea. So it's a very near and dear to my heart to talk about this. So I got to the farm. I kind of bounced around, just immersing myself in everything that I could. I loaded fat hogs. I power washed. I weaned pigs in the nursery with Uncle Lynn, who was featured last night in our presentation. Our vet there, I kind of like to see what he's all doing. I drive the tractors. I drive the combine. I don't know if I should have learned how to do that or not, but I do enjoy it, actually. Don't get me wrong. I do enjoy it. So I did everything. But it wasn't until I went out with my mother-in-law, who worked in the farrowing house, to learn how to take care of the baby pigs that I fell in love. And I really haven't left since. So I love working with the babies and the moms, and I have a good time. So really, I moved to a farm, but I found a family. And that was one thing that I was really surprised about. One of the first times I weaned pigs with Tim, and then we were done at lunch and we went and ate lunch with everybody. And that's something in the city that we never did. You don't do. With family. And so that was really neat. And this is just, Grandma makes cinnamon rolls and brings them to the office. That's awesome. We hang out. There's Lynn and the female. There's Carrie on the top being strange. I don't know. Brody's flexing his muscles. He's not a member of the family, but he kind of is a member of the family, I suppose. There's all the boys hanging out, and it really is, it's a family affair for sure. So, in the course of 10 years, I've gotten married, I've had 2 boys, I learned an entire new way of life, which is pig farming. I became a day 1 farrowing specialist. I learned data entry for the sow farm, learned how to run the tractor, the grain cart, the ripper, the cultivator, the combine, whatever, pretty much anything. When somebody else needed to go fix something, Erin ran that. And now I'm just starting to begin to share our farm's amazing story. So, it's been a lot, but it's been fun. So we start our farm tour presentations with this all the time, and I think it's great. Our lives begin to end the day we become silent about things that matter. And this is so true for us in the ag industry in general, that we really need to share what we have a passion for so people understand it. So where do I think this disconnect came from? I think farmers have been doing amazing things and growing in awesome ways forever. They are efficient. If I know anything about them, they're efficient, hardworking, determined. Advocating, however, is not something that we've been very good at. And I think that we've changed so much since we've been able to do that people are really surprised at it. So I call this is kind of funny, the Midwest palm tree effect. Since I've become one of the faces of farming, all the 5 faces, we really connect with each other a lot, texting and such in the past couple months. And of course, last week, New Mexico and Texas had a lot of snow. And the nut and vegetable farmer, that is one of the faces. He is in New Mexico. He sent us this picture just to show the snow that they're having there. It was crazy. And me and one of the other girls, she's a dairy farmer from Michigan. We're like, oh, that poor palm tree, it's freezing cold. What are you going to do with that poor palm tree? We're kind of just heckling him. And he kind of laughs and sends us a thing. He goes, it's a cactus. And so... And I laughed, but I kind of reflected on God. I'm like, I just did the exact same thing that we're talking about. If you don't live it and know it every day, you've got no idea. You've got no idea what it is. So, or what it's like. And so I'm using this now, and they're laughing at me that I'm using this slide, but it's just so true. We have no idea if we don't live it every day. So I think people have an idea what they think most farm families look like and how they're involved. And I'm pretty sure, I would have thought that they looked like that. Maybe not quite like that, but somewhat similar. And in reality, that's me and my family. So what they might picture our modern family farm to look like, I would have thought it looked like that too. But this is what it really looks like on the bottom. But that being said, some farms still do look like that. And I think it's important to remember that that is okay and that is necessary. We all need to do what we do best. And whether that be outside or inside or what have you, whatever choice you make, I think it takes everybody. And we can't get in this circle of fighting against one another, because that's just not going to help anything. So it's just important to tell your story, what works for you, and how you make your farm work, I think is very important. So this is, I know, wordy, but they're likely, like I said, surprised at what our farms look like today, and then they choose from there. So it creates confusion. It's not what they thought it was. Why do we do this? Why do we use certain practices? People don't think technology when they think farm. For some reason, farming has to be the only industry that goes backwards in time in people's minds. So we have to get over that hump. Then that becomes scary. It's the fear of the unknown. You don't know why it's like that or what it's supposed to be. Especially when it involves something that you use every day. We all use every day, and it's food. So we're all connected to that. So their mind's made up. It's fast, it's big, it must be bad. So I am a Sherlock Holmes dork. I love Sherlock Holmes. And BBC has this fantastic Sherlock series. And in this series, there's a great quote, and I used it in one of my blogs, where Sherlock's trying to explain to Lestrade about how Moriarty has manipulated him. And the quote is, Moriarty is smart. He planted that doubt in her head, that little nagging sensation. You're going to have to be strong to resist, but you can't kill an idea, can you? Not once it's made a home in your head. And so we have to remember that every little bit of information gets out there is an idea that's being planted in people's heads, and it's very hard to overcome that idea no matter what you see after that or know after that. So we have to be the first ones to get out there. So like I said, that farmers need to be planting the ideas and not watching the weeds grow. We need to be ahead of these things. So consumers are having conversations about us without us quite often. So it's time to catch up and join in. So did you make sure to take 2 of those pictures so you can give one to me? So kind of a thought of what's gone on here with social media, is that we just really haven't caught up to it, and it's been here. And other people have really caught on to it, and it's time that we catch up with this and share. I said I was going to do this. I was at the Dells, and there was I don't know if any of you were at the Dells and listened to Dino Giacomazzi. He was a dairy farmer, and he did this great thing in the room. And so I'm going to kind of copycat him really quick and show hands. How many people have a smartphone? Oh, wow. Okay. How many people have a BlackBerry? Flip phone? Oh my, there's flip phones but no Blackberries. Okay, so he said at that conference last year was the first year that nobody had a flip phone. So my point being is that we all, most of us, have the ability to share things in an instant. And I really think, while that can be scary, that we do need to take advantage of that, because it's important, that we all join in on the conversation. So usually social media connect, it's come a long way in a very short time, and I think it's going to continue to speed up. MySpace, AOL Instant Messenger, those were like the coolest when I graduated college. I don't know if they even exist. I think MySpace still does. I've heard that it does. Claire, I think you told me that. Didn't you tell me that? So somebody told me it does still exist. I didn't know it did. So, but then there are the big dogs, Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram, in my opinion, I believe, for platforms to sharing those. So what connects? I've discovered that the little things that we do as farmers that we don't really think much about every day are really the most fascinating things for people to know. So mainly in the beginning is whatever I found interesting was probably interesting to somebody outside. And here's Carrie, my sister-in-law. She does all the inventory for the farm. People don't even think about the fact that you have to have somebody to watch over inventory. They don't even think that you have inventory. And, well, I just thought that was a cool picture of the grain cart and the female. So, but that is pretty neat. Oops, did I skip over that? So like I said, people don't even think beyond the final product and all the inputs that it takes. And those are, I think, the little things that we need to share to build trust. And being yourself is incredibly important. People want to know that we are people. We have families. We're here every day. We care for our animals just like everybody else. If you have a passion, focus on that and be transparent about it. You can't hold anything back. What we do is amazing. Trust me, it really is. And we all need to embrace it because there's so many people that don't realize that. So, and if you get lost, remember, who are you trying to reach and what are they concerned about? If you don't have time to sit on Twitter all day, that's okay. You have things to take care of. That's something I need to remind myself of quite often, actually. It's good to answer honest and curious questions if that's what they're trying to figure out. And I think one of the most important things is always offer a personal interaction, because as we know, that's becoming more and more scarce. And I think that's very important. Social media is a great way to connect with people and then offer them to give you a call, come out to your farm. It really makes a difference. And just believe in what you do. So I call it pulsing the positives. So once I became comfortable with what I was doing and what I represented, it was really easy to share the little things that you enjoy. Any little thing that you step over. The middle picture is, the doors. I put pig decals on the shower room doors to our sow farm. I don't know. I thought it was cool. I don't think the guys thought it was cool, but whatever. But it's kind of a neat little thing that we did. So I share it, and people seem to like that. Farm tours, the kids, anything that you think. And then I use my personal page because I still have city friends to kind of help share that a different direction because I have that outlet. I don't get much response, but I know that they're watching. My mom always tells me people talk to her about it all the time. So what's the stuff we're sharing? It's your family farm and your farming family. It's worth it. The kids, I don't just bring my kids out there to stage a photo shoot. I really want them to learn and know what it's about to care for animals. And like I said, it's something I never got to do, so I know it's so important to learn that sort of thing. So just the kids on the farm resonates very well. The family, obviously, we're a family farm. We're a large family farm, but we are a family farm. And I think it's important that people realize that as well, because with all the crazy terms of large farms these days, I think it's really important to share the family part of it. Farm tours they're incredibly important, and when you get the opportunity, you need to soak that up. So we share that all the time so people see that we have farm tours, and maybe it gives them an idea to contact us and bring somebody else out. And we really embrace anybody coming out to the farm. And I have a slideshow later that kind of shows some of those pictures. But to see people excited about what you do every day, to me is so fulfilling. thrilling. It really is kind of a moving experience to have people come out and just hold a pig and just get so excited about stuff that we, like I said, we take for granted every day, but they love it. I think non-animal related content is incredibly important. It brings us back to the human realm. We are people. I drove around. We have some crazy bald eagle thing going on around our farm. We have bald eagles everywhere. I took some pictures of them the other day and put it up. People love that. This is our HR girl throwing all of her important papers into the air. That's how she feels, I think, every day. The grain side of things, the guys being strange, the kids playing on the farm. Those are things that make us human. We're just like everybody else. We love what we do, and I think that's important to share. It can't just be pigs, 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 pigs. We need to show the human side of stuff we do. So a little bit about the different media. I really am only into Facebook and Twitter. I have to get on Instagram, but I haven't done it yet. So Facebook really does a good job, I think, providing good insights for you. This is kind of just a screen cap of our page and kind of what it would look like, and it shows you how many people you've reached and how many people have shared stuff and when people are looking at it, and I think Facebook does a really good job with that. It's kind of strange. I use this as an example of what people look at. I haven't quite figured that formula out yet. This was a blog that I did for Pork Network, and it was kind of really near and dear. I don't know if you know who the gentleman is. That's Marcus Luttrell. He is, I don't know if you've read The Lone Survivor, but he is the lone survivor, and it's an amazing story if you get a chance to. Anyways, we ran into him in the airport, and this is my husband's brother-in-law. He served in the military, and he recognized him right away. And I kind of, we met him, and we said, thank you for what you've done, and he said, I didn't do anything you guys wouldn't have done. And it kind of put things into perspective when we're out there, what we think we're battling in agriculture, and there's people like this out there, fighting for our right to farm in general, and it really just puts stuff in perspective for me. Anyways, it was a moving story, and I posted it on our Facebook page, and it reached 640 people, 16 likes, no comments. So 4 days later, I put a picture of a pig magnet up, and I talked about a friend from Chicago that asked me a question about the farm. Almost 5,000 people looked at it, 93 likes, and 1 share. I can't quite figure it out. I don't know what to tell you, but I guess just keep trying everything. If anything, I guess it just routed some traffic over there for them to see all of our other content. So Facebook also kind of shows you where your viewers are, what day they view it most, what time of day they view it most. So for us, Tuesday night at 8 o'clock in the evening is the best time to post anything, because that's when everybody's there. So that's kind of a neat thing. And you do see a direct correlation for the time that you post things and the amount of likes and views that you get. So Twitter, I'm partial to Twitter. I'm getting on Twitter. I'm getting better about it. I just recently became involved. My handle is @SowMama. It's 140 characters of, I think it's just pure craziness, in my opinion, because you can't fit that much in 140 characters. There's no room for fluff. And it's even less if you use a picture, and I always have to use a picture, so I get really reduced. So you have to get really your points and your views across fast on Twitter. Hashtag, mania is just hashtag everything. You can use different hashtags for reach different audiences. I think it's important to keep them relevant. I think they can get kind of way too long, but they can be effective if used the right way. And this one at the bottom was a friend of mine that used it. She spoke to a group, I believe, of students about raising pigs, and one of them asked, how did they intellectually stimulate their pigs or something? And she used this hashtag, "The pigs didn't like me trying to teach them yoga." I thought that was very effective and very funny. Pretty long, but if you use it in the right way, it can kind of be funny. So, real pig farming has been really neat. it's a hashtag that you use whenever you're doing anything on the farm, and it's not about pitting one style of farming against another. It just brings all the different kinds together, and it really does take all kinds. And I like to show on Real Pig Farming how a larger farm like us is still intensely family involved, and how much I love waking up and working with pigs every day, and I like to use the Real Pig Farming for that. And there's a friend I have now in New Zealand, and he has these big, like fat black pigs that he raises outside in mud holes in New Zealand, and now I'm friends with him, and we talk back and forth about the different styles, and I think it's a really neat way to bring people together. So USFRA, Faces of Farming and Ranching, I was selected as one of the 5 Faces of Farming and Ranching. This is all 5 of us when they announced us in Kansas City a couple months ago. So I see it as a way to reach a broader audience and show my love for farming. I understand the fears firsthand from people, and I just want to help people answer some of their questions and concerns. Because I know very well that had I not moved to a farm, I could have been given my money to HSUS too. I wouldn't have known. I could have been a skeptic and been on the other side. So I just want to help share that perspective. So USFRA is Thomas Titus. There's actually 2 pig farmers, so we're pretty proud of that. He's from Illinois. There's Carla Wardeen. She's a dairy farmer from Michigan. Jay Hill is the nut and vegetable farmer from New Mexico. And Daryl is a turkey farmer, but when I asked him to send me a picture, he sent me this one of him and a cow, so I was like, okay, so I guess he's got cows too. But I took it. But he's actually a turkey farmer from Texas. So, questions that you need to fill out for effective content. What are people asking for? What are their concerns? Address and explain these before they're potentially wrongly presented as something bad, because you know that they will be eventually by somebody else. Stay ahead of the concerns. Feel out what people are starting to talk about, and stay ahead of that before it becomes a problem. Show your human side, and show reality. Show ups and downs of everything that you do. I think everyone needs to join in the conversation. My father-in-law always says, the gloves are off. It's time to open up. We can't hide. You have nothing to hide. We have to be transparent and proud of what we do. If you feel like there's something you want to hide on your farm or you don't want people to see, then you probably really should take a second look at that practice. You have to be transparent if we want to earn people's trust. And walk through your farm once a day with prying eyes and see what you can share, all the neat little things that you might not have thought about yesterday. And every step that you take, could present a great opportunity to share that, something interesting. Once again, everybody, I think, needs to join in on a conversation. You can't just have 10 strong voices out there and we represent this entire industry. It's going to take a lot more. And so it's easy if you have a passion for what you do. So sometimes I wonder if anybody's listening out there, but they are. They're just not visual. They're not. You can't see them. They don't like stuff. They don't comment on stuff, but they're watching and they're looking at what you do. And so don't feel like you're alone. So just open up. So why do I share things? Because I get to go out every day and do something that I'm passionate about with people that I love. As a reward, my family farm helps to feed 2 million people every year, and that's something to be really, really proud of. And the most important thing is that my children get to grow up on a farm. And they'll, like I said, the one on the bottom, he wants to be an astronaut right now, which is cool if he wants to be an astronaut, but I always want him to know that he has the farm to come to and learn from too if he wants to. So those are a lot of things that I choose to share, and it really is amazing looking at that when you open yourselves up to sharing such an amazing thing like what we do, the opportunities that you get, the people that you get to meet. It's really been a great experience for me. So little plug party at the end of this slideshow. So Brenneman Pork is on Facebook. I blog for Pork Network. I'm going to try to be better and get more out there as much as I can. I'm at Sow Mama on Twitter if you want to find me. It's just everything pig. It's usually not anything outside of that, out of the farm. And of course, I'm going to be one of the faces of farming for the next year for the Farmers and Ranchers Alliance. So, thank you very much.